So in another episode of Connecting Dots, we are with Mr. Puneet Baijal, who has more than 22 years of experience and currently serving as a general manager of Hyatt Regency, Ahmedabad. Let's deep dive into his journey of being F&B manager work to general manager of this property. Hi Puneet, how are you?
Great, fantastic.
So let's start with the journey, how you started the hospitality as an industry. You came into this industry and became a general manager altogether. So we all started from.
It's a long one,
Yeah, we are one.
Yeah, so we started, I passed out my hotel management from IHM in Hyderabad and got selected into Taj Hotels as a part of the campus interview. And grew in Taj and finished my management training program. Was picked up by Hyatt in the year 2002. And since then, have been traveling across with the brand, doing various different job descriptions, fixing things, correcting, substances, opening hotels, running hotels. That's the journey.
So you've been to different part of the countries?
Oh yeah, so I started with down south in Kerala with the Taj Hotels.
Okay.
And then my first job with the Hyatt was at the Hyatt Regency in Delhi. And yeah, it's a beautiful 40-year-old hotel.
Yeah.
Still one of the most popular hotels of the city. Phenomenal memories there. And did my F&B career growth primarily there. From a banquet manager to director of food and beverage. Then went to Doha to open the Grand Hyatt Hotel there. Did 5 years based out of Doha, but in between got multiple assignments back and forth, assisting various openings like Grand Hyatt in Macau.
Okay.
Or at that time we were opening a hotel in Lebanon, the Grand Hyatt in Beirut. And then there were certain takeovers that the brand did. So traveled to Europe for certain workshops.
People that the world already.
Yes. Then got an opportunity with the Hyatt to be a part of a program called Foundation for Future. Went to Chicago, got some wisdom, to be a general manager managing various facets of business. And became the hotel manager back in Doha, and then came to Chandigarh, opening of the Hyatt Regency in Chandigarh. Then went to Dubai again, and was there for around 3.5-4 years, managing a group of hotels, 7 hotels there, 1-2 pre-openings, part of that tenure. Then came here, Ahmedabad. Had some family, concerns to come back to the country and be balancing my professional life.
It's back to the nest.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Back to the nest, correct.
So, what made you to choose hospitality in the very first place when you start thinking about? So, generally, आपके और मेरे time पे होता था, doctor, engineer.
Yeah.
Why
correct.
Why ISM?
So, actually, I have a very different story. My Mausaji, who used to at that time work for the Madhya Pradesh tourism, and he has been a big influence in my life to take that decision. And I used to travel on my summer holidays and stay in various leisure destinations like Khajuraho and
all in MP tourism.
Kind of MP tourism, but many others. I was fond of traveling. My father was an engineer, and he used to travel for business, various places, and I used to travel with him. So travel was something which is a part of our family culture, either because of job or because of fun, Summer vacations were always travel. We have a very large family of around, between mother, father, cousins, all of that combined together, around 150, 180 people.
Is that you call family?
Yeah. Indian large family, yeah. So always there was a destination to go, and large events, was a part of our family culture.
जहाँ जाते हो तो शादी होगी.
In a way, माहौल रहता है, correct. So that has been my life from my childhood to adulthood.
Yeah.
And so seeing all that, I was very fascinated. But at the same time, I was made aware of the back of the house, what goes on
Wow.
in this industry
At a very early age.
at an early age because of the exposure I got. And so I knew that it was not easy. You know, initially when I was getting into the course, my Masi told my mother that, his wife is going to be,
Yeah.
trouble.
ये डर सबको सताता है.
You know,
The
yeah.
moment you decide
Yeah,
hospital.
hospitality, right?
Yeah.
So, but God was kind. Something was written. I met my wife in Hyatt itself. So, yeah, and she's a hotelier, ex-F&B. So, yeah,
Understand all
she understood how the life in hospitality goes. We worked together for a very long time. But then when I became responsible for the hotel, of course, it was not possible to work in the same unit.
Yeah, correct.
And then she pursued her career with the Emir of Qatar. They have hotels and hospitals. She was responsible for a large conglomerate of hotels owned by them. And but still, we respected and supported each other's jobs. And so it has been phenomenal.
She's still working now?
No, now she's looking after my daughter. She said enough,
Both can't be into hospitality because it doesn't take a lot of...
Yeah. I mean, no, we had certain... She was working until we were in Dubai. And then finally, when we came to India, we had certain family commitments to fulfill. So that's when she said, okay, I'll take a break.
I think at least your life was easy. I've done a podcast with a lot of people, and the common answer that comes in, the shine and glamour have attracted me to hospitality, number one. Number two, when I came into, I realized what shit that I'm into. And this is going to impact my personal life as well, because a lot of time you don't get time, even if, especially when you are in F&B.
Yeah.
So raat mein, late night, early morning and everything. For you being lucky on this.
Yeah.
So how was the experience of yours when you came into Taj? What I'm talking about India as a subcontinent, where you were here working in India and then going abroad. What was different, and what has actually changed in terms of attitude and personality in your own self when you were working here and versus outside of India?
So the markets are completely different. There is no comparison. When you work in India versus when you work in Europe versus when you work in Middle East and US, there is absolutely no comparison on the working conditions perspective. However, the essence of hospitality of customer is the same. That doesn't change anywhere. When you talk about the front of the house, in terms of pre-arrival to arrival to, welcome, and then the guest room, and then F&B, and then social spaces. And when you look at certain academics of it and marketing, and so the essence of the overall hospitality, because we are in business of hospitality,
Correct.
that doesn't change. That remains the same across the world. Sometimes in India, you might find people are a bit more subservient.
Yes.
While we might find that in Europe, they are a bit more efficient. In US, it is a combination of two in a way. So Asia is far more hospitality oriented.
Yeah.
The cost of labor actually defines the work culture in different continents and nations where you work in hospitality. Like when we were in for a small workshop in Australia, the prime job of a manager is all about managing people efficiently in terms of their work hours, because the workforce is so expensive, and they are from diverse portfolios of people who are working into hospitality, doing various different educations or side jobs in addition to hospitality. Similarly, in Europe, we find the same. We were a part of a conversion of a brand A to a brand B. And when we were doing that, bringing them into our brand, from a French culture perspective, the way we wanted to bring in that change, it took a bit more time than it would have taken in any other part of the world. While when you talk about Middle East, it's a very dynamic, fast-paced, very how do I say it, competitive culture, because the competition starts right from being the best. So every owner who builds a hotel in the Middle East. I mean, if you compare a no-star hotel to a five-star hotel,
It's a country. It's a
it's
world country capital.
correct. So it's a completely different ball game of hospitality, and the way it is thought of, the way the product is, the way the ingredients are, the way it's the best that you kind of work with. The best of the world comes in there and kind of boils down in the Middle East, whether it is Qatar or whether it is Saudi or whether it is UAE or whether it is Oman,
They have opened the
Bahrain.
gate for everyone to come in.
Exactly.
They have become the capital of the world now.
So when you work in many countries, you work almost with majority of that nationality. While when you're working in the Middle East, you're working with a minimum of 80 to 100 different nationalities working in the hotel.
Correct.
So the culture is very varied. You celebrate 100 national days in 365 days. So it's a festive mode all the time to do something or the other. You celebrate global festivals, not just the festival of a country or a nation. So yes, working across dynamics makes you more resilient, makes you understand the culture much more better, people much more better. And also from a business perspective, you learn the nuances of how to do those business globally. And when you are back in India here, the customer is still global. 60% of my customer is still a global traveler. So our endeavor with the Hyatt brand standards here is now to look at how do I take my global experience and give that global experience right here in Ahmedabad to be able to then people feel that, oh wow, this hotel is something different in this city, which may not be the metro city of the country, but still a very prominent city in terms of movement.
And capital of India, Gujarat.
Yes. So when we look at a lot of heads of states movement in the last 5 years have been via Ahmedabad, and we have been fortunate, to be the host hotel to majority of them. And the place where we are sitting, at your place, certain prime ministers have sat and given interviews to media. So I think it is a great exposure, and in order to sustain that, I feel proud that I can deliver that global experience to those global travelers, even when they come in Ahmedabad. They don't feel that they have come to a small town, or something on those lines.
So you've traveled across the world. You've seen a lot, and that this is the experience that a lot of people are missing in their life, and they should be looking at this podcast to learn from you. The point is that I want to understand what, as in hospitality essence, then you see India, then you see abroad and Europe and other countries. What is for you is the best mix of hospitality? Which country that you will choose, or which continent that you will choose has the best hospitality when it comes to hotel specifically?
I think India.
India.
Any day. Because the best thing in India, the hospitality is engraved in the culture of our homes. Atithi Devo Bhav is the culture that is taught when your elders are there at home, when your grandparents are there at home, when your relatives come home, So when you look at this entire upbringing of a child, unknowingly about hospitality industry, the culture of hospitality is the best in India. As you go from west to east, the hospitality becomes a bit more polite, and far east it is much more polite than it should be. That's why I believe India is a perfect mix of efficiency and humbleness combined together.
As in business, how do you see hospitality? From the days that you were working, I think a hotel used to be two things, either the lodge or the 5-star hotel. Now there is an array of accommodation that we live in. So today we have turns to service apartments, to 5-star, to 4-star, 3-star. Not many type of accommodation are there. How do you see hospitality? What is hospitality for you in terms of the entire general's definition for your own brain to understand?
I believe the basic essence from no categorization to the most luxurious categorization is the same. There's a customer, he has his needs, and we are there to serve them. That doesn't change in a broad spectrum of things.
Yes.
Now, we just add layers of luxury to it, whether it is in terms of the size, the space that the customer gets, or the refinedness of luxury that the customer gets in terms of what the customer can smell, see, touch, feel, eat.
Senses.
So you may eat a dosa in a no-star restaurant, and you may eat a dosa at a five-star hotel in breakfast. The difference is the assurance of hygiene.
Quality.
The difference is the assurance of the materials used. The difference is the assurance of the degree of cooking in terms of so-called FSSAI parameters. The assurance is that the operating equipment or the plates or the cutlery and the crockery and the glassware, the environment in which you are sitting, who is sitting around you.
Wow.
You know,
This is the important.
and the assurance is of it's a comfortable environment. You're safe. In general, nobody's going to bother you. You might be a known personality. When you go on the road, millions of people may flock you. But when you are in a five-star hotel, then, you know, they just leave you alone to do your things. There's a sense of privacy. So as you add layers, you know, things change. The brands of the accessories that are there in your hotel change. The brands of toiletries that you use in the bathroom change. And that's how the grading system happens. It's exactly like a jungle rule, you know. Deers live with deers and lions with lions, you know. So it's not different.
Yeah. So I want to hear from you a story that you would remember throughout your life. It may be a game changer for you, for a personality or for the job, or probably you've learned something from it. One story that as a entire of your career, 22 years, that has always been with you and it is there with you till now.
So I have many stories. I can write a book on stories.
Just
Actually, yeah. To say one of them, I think it is all about, for me, what I have learned is never to look back.
Okay.
With the people. Every step that we take, we learn something, you know, irrespective of whatever you might be doing as a job description. My previous job was much larger role than what I do today. And but it doesn't deter me to what I do today. Right? When I was working in and doing some projects in north of Africa, or with some brands, and we were working on it to open a couple of hotels there. Everywhere, wherever I went, whether it was Chicago for my Foundation for Future program, or with my mentors in India or in the Middle East, the idea is never to look back. You know, it's always to look forward. So I met one of my mentors very recently, actually, in my life, which is around 4 years ago. And what I learned out of that is take what exists and make it better.
Wow.
So we will never find the perfect world. And my job will always be to take what is there now today as it is, and how can I make it better? And then when I come back to it 3 years later, I will again look at the same thing and how can I make it better?
Yeah, it's always never-ending process. You go back and work on it.
So the principle or the storyline that I would always encourage to look at, in a way to put it in words, is take what exists and make it better.
This is your advice for all the people who are working that.
I think a mantra for life, for me.
I think this give me the sense of, I've seen a lot of people in their lives when they are some in area roles in the corporate office and they suddenly come down and sit in jail. I will not take names. I've done a podcast with one of the guy. He was in the area office, came back and settled as a GM, and I was asking him what happened, why, and the answer was that, Prashant, last year 260 days I was traveling. मेरी बेटी मुझे अंकल बोलने लगती. and I have to take step in life.
True.
And then I sat down and realized that someone was in the area of his position, whereas if he walks into a hotel, a general manager will say, yes, sir, because he will look up to you because you are a area officer. And then you are sitting in as a general manager position. But now when you gave me this thought, and this made me realize, no, every decision is not bad. There is no perfect life. You have to fix where you are or what you exactly want at that point of time.
Correct.
So that's a great way to look at it. And if I would have not heard from you, I would always think about you have done bad with your life because you was growing so much. Why you have took this decision only because the family is there. This can be sorted out. But no, I think that is a better way to look at.
Yeah.
So I now that you have opened the Pandora box of how the life should be, what is your advice if someone is right now into this industry having 5, 10, 15 years of experience? These are the people who are in their mid-30s or probably it's something between 30 to 40s.
Yeah.
And life actually change after that because you have kid, you have wife, and then you have responsibilities. What is your advice to those kind of people right now who are in this industry and looking to grow with it?
So first of all, there is a very old saying, and it is true all the time. Grass on the other side is always green.
Yeah.
Right? And it'll always remain true, So there is never a moment that offers won't come to you or opportunities won't come to you. Every day, an opportunity will knock your door when you are at that age group.
Correct.
Because talent, quality talent is a rare commodity nowadays.
Yeah, it's missing
Right
now.
And the new generation of, our human society have access to completely different lifestyle using technology to be able to manage people, business, and enterprises.
So easy access to information.
Yes. Information systems, luxuries of life, what we used to consider a luxury is now a necessity, blah, blah, blah. So understanding that aspect, if something is drastically not wrong, I recommend stay where you are and take what exists and make it better.
But I have an opinion on this. Till the time you don't have extreme situation in your life, nothing changes because that there's a situation where you're comfortably numb. So like if I am a GM right now, earning an X amount of salary and I have a wife, I might not like my job, but I know I'm getting paid. I might be saying, okay, fine, this is what I got it. But imagine the situation, twist the situation that you don't have wife or your job is on the line. You will hunt for a job, better job, and you can end up having a better situation for your life. You're saying that someone has to push themselves to be in an extreme situation or continuing having the place where you are.
So it all comes from self-motivation.
Okay.
If you do not have desires to do better, then you will be complacent and staying where you are.
Correct.
But if you have the desire to do better for yourself, better education for your child, better lifestyle for your parents, better lifestyle for your spouse, better lifestyle for yourself, for which you might need a change of location, better weather for yourself which suits your health, or some more money maybe to fulfill those materialistic requirements of life. With one of the Guruji actually told me, he has laid a lot of impression on my life. So we were in a small conversation. Sorry, I'm digressing, but it's related to that.
That's good.
And he told me, and I told him, Guruji, I'm not running after money. He said, you're man.
Oh.
He said, you're man. I said, why are you saying so? You are a Guruji. He said, Puneet, God has sent you with all these skill sets that you can do a lot of big things in life, right? And there are not many like you. So if God has sent you to be doing this, wherein you can afford to make a lot of money, who stops you to help people who don't have that? Nobody is telling you that, go and drink the most expensive champagne. If that's not your inclination, nobody is telling you that every 4th month buy a new Rolex, if you have the desire to do better for the world or better for people, work hard, run for that money, but do something better with that money,
Yeah.
which many people don't do.
Yeah, I think it is an old saying, money aggravate the real what you are inside. If you're a bad
Exactly.
person and you will do bad things with money, if you're a good person, you'll do good things.
Exactly.
But on money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I believe that when we have this desire of doing better, so all the generation which is between 30s and 45, we call sometimes midlife crisis. The idea is that if you are happy, there is no point. I mean, I'm not saying complacent.
Yeah.
Happy and complacent are two completely different worlds. If you are happy and you are being able to fulfill, just take what is existing in your workplace, in your home, in your family, in your relationship, and make it better. Automatically, life will give you a push. But if you are not happy for whatever reasons, there are opportunities striking your door every day, right?
You'll see the opportunity.
You'll see the
You're
opportunity.
not happy.
Exactly. And then once you find that and you're happy, go there, take what is existing and make that better.
Yeah.
You know?
Made it very simple look like. So I think one thing that I would look at, so when we're talking about happiness and non-happiness of a person, let's come back to this industry. Do you think that there is still a lot of problem in this industry? Number one, if you say yes, what are the problems that you have faced throughout? I'm not talking about the small little problem that we go through. I'm calling it small, it's big for all the GMs that every day have to come and face a lot of things. What are the bigger problem and the bigger sector of life when you look at hospitality, being general manager of a hotel or the area office? What are the current demanding problems right now which is persist in hospitality? What is your thought on that?
I think there is one major issue in hospitality now is the talent.
Why it is? Because this is the common answer that I'm getting.
Yeah. Now, I would lay two emphasis to it. One is the industry perspective of it, and one is the education perspective of it. Of late, myself have been invited by around 7 or 9 colleges in India to give a guest lecture on a topic to the students of the final year, that after graduating, why they should join the industry of hotels and hospitality and not branch out to any other industry.
Like airlines and hospitality, other aspect of hospitality.
This is still hospitality,
Yeah.
but maybe something else as well.
Okay.
So when we look at that, like real estate or retail or shopping malls or what, how do you contain a hospitality educated person into hotels or aviation or hospitality core industry is the biggest challenge. And that's where we believe that we did not do this. I mean, I'm general manager for now 15 years. We did not do this 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That going to colleges and telling people that join hotels.
But that was...
Right? Need was not there.
Need was not there.
And we didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And we realized it after the water reached here.
Yeah, because we were in the...
So anticipation of the growth and the diversity of so many of our colleagues, our super seniors from college already diversifying was an alarm enough at that point of time to look at education and students and what they are doing, how they are graduating their hotel school. That is one segment of the conversation. The second segment of the conversation is so-called zero-based manning in hotels.
Correct.
So the talent development section, the rigorousness of training managers, the rigorousness of talent development managers, their role into the industry was very significant 20 years ago into shaping the future of the younger generations and then building them. And I am a product of those training managers who made me what I am today. But unfortunately, somewhere in last 10 years, we lost that battle of focusing on learning, development, training, talent development as a subject in our industry because commercially we were doing so well. And So one side education and other industries coming up into the economic scenario of hospitality professional diversifying, zero-based manning, and payroll.
Yeah, payroll is
So now, if a person graduates and he's a hospitality graduate is considered to be a complete professional among all streams in terms of great in speaking, great in etiquettes, great in manners, has the ability to deal with people, public science, all of that is great. So hospitality graduates get phenomenal offers across various parts of the globe doing multiple jobs.
correct.
And that when the world exploded with all these opportunities where the hospitality professionals started to fit in, they paid them really, really well to what the hospitality is today paying. And that was one of the other reasons of competitiveness. But yes, we are in business of hospitality. Our payroll is directly proportional to the rate that we charge a customer.
Correct.
So the proportion at which the industry of non-hospitality grew to give jobs to hospitality professionals, similarly, the number of hotels also mushroomed up into various parts of the country and globe, and the demand was very high for hospitality professionals, but the customers did not grow at that pace. So the city occupancies became stagnant at 60-70%. Average rates got stagnant at $80 to $150. And that's where we felt that you can only pay a particular percentage of what you earn between $80 to $150 average room rate in the country to be able to pay your staff. And yes, that is the reality. But this doesn't deter anything. I believe that these are not the problems. These are the situations.
Yeah.
And we are the people who have been hired to take what exists and make it better.
That's the best line that you. So I'll give you 2-3 things that I think about this. One is that we have great talents here in India. And these talents been taken by other people because they know the real value of this talent. So you go to Middle East, you will find any hotel, there will a lot of Indians are already working there because they pay good. They take care of you. When it comes to India, we have started doing it now. 5-day working, giving you better internship, better salary. All of this is now happening. I believe there is one more reason that we should be looking at. So when it came to IT, it was not governed by Indian government first. Infosys grew, and then suddenly government realized, अरे ये इतनी बड़ी कैसे हो गई? IT की कुछ बनानी पड़ेगी. Now, after so many years of independence, we are going out and data protection law पे हम bill pass कर रहे हैं अब. After so many years, जब Infosys and TCS इतना बड़ा हो. And then there was entire Silicon Valley here, Bangalore. India has lacked a lot of entrepreneurs who are from hospitality. So these were the people who were landman, who had a lot of money. They made the hotel, and these companies like Marriott, Hyatt, and all of them came and started running those hotels. There was less of Indian entrepreneurs from hospitality background who came out. So I will tell you, my existence in hospitality is only because of one guy, Mr. Ravi Sarup. He is an ex-Oberoi OCND. He started OCC. He started the management for Oberoi. He came out, started his venture, Cordless Taxi Services, where he started taking center reservations from the brands like Leela, like Lemon Tree, like ITC. And then I joined him. I was someone who never knew what is continental plan, what is room tariff, what is MAP, what is CP. I have no clue. She trained me for almost 2.5 years. And the first job that I got into it. And also it is about the exposure. You rightly said earlier there was something else about hospitality. Today hospitality is different. My exposure to hospitality was someone left the job of lakhs of rupees. I don't know how many, but it was a big amount of money that you raised. He was senior vice president Oberoi. And he came out and done a business where he was awake with us till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. We were building the software for him. And suddenly I realized this industry has gave this guy so much confidence. उसने लाखों की नौकरी छोड़ी, risk लिया, business बनाया, and this business is making crores for him. And suddenly I realized that he has the entire floor in Vatica Business Center, उसके ठीक सामने McKinsey का office, and someone can do this in this industry. This was my exposure. And here I am running a business, successfully making a lot of money, better than what I was doing in my job. And then there are other people who came out in the industry and they were pushed to do 14 hours, 15 hours of internship, picking up the baggage. I know this is a part of this industry and you have to go through it. But I think the people and the leaders who are at your position and people and leaders who are outside the country, different location, are treating people. They should be looking at these are the futures and we need to treat them right so that they can understand the essence of hospitality, that what it was earlier should not be right. And there are very less amount of people at the age of 30 and 40 that is my target people, target audience where I'm going to talk to them, that what you have seen should not be the future, that other generation should see. And you said it right that this is on us now. And my initiative was this, that I want to bring all of these kind of leaders and make them talk so that people can hear and change a lot of mentality out there. So everything will change once we change our mind, our mentality, our mindset about this industry. So onto this, I will ask you one more question. What do you think is a time frame that we are looking at this entire industry will become an industry quite a good for all of us? Because right now I don't see it blooming. It is, as an industry, hotels, hospitality is growing, but as an entrepreneur, as a business, this is not. What do you think it requires for us to look at this as a bunch of people coming out and doing new stuff in this industry?
So now, if you see a state called Rajasthan, the government has already announced that they will qualify hotels under an industry, hospitality industry, and give it a status of industry. This has been a long drawn fight between various administrations, hospitality owners, because the moment you qualify hotels and its assets as industry, you get a lot of industry related benefit in order to run that asset as any other manufacturing unit or any other entrepreneurial idea that is qualified under industry. So those industry benefits related to taxation or loans or norms or permissions or single window clearances, we are a developing nation. When we call ourselves a developing nation, I never think or talk about problems because we are making solutions as we are growing. Last 10 years, this is what I have done, made solutions, and those solutions have made those systems and processes better, and now they are running on their own. And there are younger generation people who are maintaining it. But the job of ours is that when we look at this as an industry, as each step will pass by, each year will pass by, as you just mentioned about the IT policy, it took us 20, 25 years to make that policy. We are a very large nation, One Dubai is not even Andheri, in Mumbai. So
you are in an election, आप एक दिन में सबके कान में जाके बता सकते हो, I'm standing in an election. There are a handful of people.
Exactly. So when we compare ourselves to developed cities, whether it is Dubai or whether it is Doha or whether it is Singapore, this is a very small, geographical area, very small population. But when we talk about India, it's a mammoth nation. So we are on a very fast trajectory to reach to the moon, almost in few 20 days maybe. But still, what I'm trying to say is that we are a part of the development process. So the moment we will reach this policy of hospitality industry getting qualified as an industry, the industrialists who are established into manufacturing, big names, I don't want to take names here, but big names, one of them is already running a Taj Hotels.
Yes, of course.
But then there are many other industrialists who would venture into this as an industry.
Of course.
It is a great business. EBITDA are phenomenal. But it is a people-heavy industry.
Yes.
Your prime cost is people. Your product is people, And the process through which you need to achieve this is people. So I believe from an employment generation perspective, for any government to look at, hospitality is the most entrepreneurial industry. Whether you open a small hotel of 10 rooms, you will still employ people to manage it.
Yeah, of course.
You will not do it alone. You might open a own shop, which you may manage with you and your family. But if you open a hotel of 10 rooms, you need people to manage it.
Of course.
You need licenses, so you have employed a plethora of own employed people or agencies or third party to ensure that that business runs successfully.
I said in one of our podcasts, this is the most human industry.
Exactly.
Without people, you can't run it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I think this will give a lot of employment to the people.
Yeah.
Again, the problem is we are missing on people who want to come in this industry.
No, we are not missing on people who want to come to the industry. We need to go back into the education system. Industry needs to go back into the education system to encourage people and tell them the positive things about this industry. I always say to young students, those who are getting into apprenticeship programs, why do we work? In Hindi, there's a saying, roti kapda makan, right? And hotel, the moment you get into a job, a small job, right? The moment you get into a job that you have to come for 8 hours and do XYZ in a hotel, your roti kapda makan is already taken care.
Yes. Basically,
No industry, I'm talking about large industries, they have people like us do institutional caterings there, right? They do institutional caterings. I have gone to various technology, TV manufacturing, refrigeration manufacturing companies, and been a part of an advisory committee to look at what kind of institutional catering is happening there, what kind of menu planning is there, how they are serving 30,000, 40,000 employees every day to cater. But I look at the life of those employees in cubicles and in manufacturing plants, on manufacturing rails where the cars are being manufactured. And when you look at a life of a human in a hospitality industry, it's far, far better. Now, the kind of exposure, a person like me or any one of my colleague gets. So I said in the initial start of my podcast that we have, whether it was the President of United States, to the President of Japan, to the President of China, to the Prime Minister of France, to the Prime Minister of Canada, we have been able to, or the UK Prime Minister, we have had one-on-one interaction like I'm having it with you with them. How many people get this opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation? And these are the celebrity names.
Yeah.
There are a lot of successful entrepreneurs, businessmen, around 300 of them who come in our door and go out of our door every day. And we get an opportunity to talk to them on a daily basis and get inspired. We get to hear about what is new coming in technology. We get to hear about what is new coming in business. What are the new regulations about to come? How does the bureaucracy work? How does the government function? How does the intermediaries between government and industry function? How does charity happen? How does NGOs work? So all facets of life, whether it is retail, whether it is real estate, whether it is luxury, or even whether it is charity, the amount of technology we see growing in pharmaceutical world, I see live robotic surgeries happening and 150, 200, 300, 500 doctors sitting and watching that in my ballroom. So to be looking at various award events, those successful people coming in and receiving awards and we getting an opportunity to talk to those successful people, I think this is a library of information, a hotel, the amount of information and knowledge that we can gain just by talking with successful people in various facets of life. Only you can do it in a hotel. No other place. I will go and do a mundane, monotonous job and I'll come back home,
agree to you.
But the diversity of information that goes in our head, and we are able to take life decisions, the conversations that we are able to have because of this diversified knowledge coming every day to us, and the relationships we make. Our business is all about relationships. So, we talk to three people, those three people talk to another three people. Hey, go and meet Puneet, he'll look after you at the Hyatt Regency in Ahmedabad. And then, three people will come and those I will look after. And then it is a chain of people. So 60% of my customers are repeat customers.
Yeah. You will have 2,000 people knowing you by the end of your career.
Exactly.
And this doesn't happen. So I think you have rightly said that there are a handful of people who have seen this industry in the way that you are telling right now. And the education is not there that people should talk good about this industry. I think we need more people, we need more ideas. And I remember this ad which I've seen when I was young, and that is because I went out and did an exam of NDA. It was join army, and there was no one who was trying to join army because kaun goli khane jayega, sir. And then government came in, and then there was an ad that I remember. Someone says that on the first day of my joining, I got a car from my company, and the car was a tank. And it was very fascinating to look at that they are actually doing the right thing. That you become officer, you know how to drink, you know how to eat, you know how to talk to a woman, you know how to take care of things, and it is all proud that they have shown. I think such addition, such interference from the government is also required because, as you said, this is a big nation. If I talk to you in English, probably half of the population of India will not know what we are talking. Because they might know Malayali, they might know Telugu, but we need all of the India to get educated this industry. That's the exact line that you said. There is no other industry like this ever formed in the history. And I'm this old saying, and I will still repeat this in podcast, that the oldest business of the world is hotel and prostitution. They have never gone away from our life till today. And it will always be there. Because this is not driven by technology, this is driven by people, and we need people around us. So we'll end this podcast with one line, and I want you to answer this for me. What should we change to make sure that we should not talk about this in future, that we are missing people around us?
I'll give the same answer. Take what exists and make it better.
Thank you so much, Puneet. It was a great interactive session. I have learned a lot, and there was life-changing lies that you gave it to me. And this is from my side. I live life on few things. आपको जब याद होगा पुराने टाइम पे दोहे आते थे, दो लाइन पे पूरी जिंदगी बताते थे. And there has been a lot of doha that you have gave in this podcast. I think people will like it and should learn from this podcast. Thank you so much for your time.
You're more than welcome.
You are watching biggest hospitality podcast by a hotelier. Stay tuned. Follow us for more.